It's still August 31st. I needed to record this because it just came to mind, and it was a pattern, another theme today. So the theme, what video posted? I don't know what video posted today, but I have no idea what posted today. But the theme today, and I think I might have mentioned it yesterday, or maybe I didn't. The conversation with my mom about my aunt and my uncle, and the frustration, right, that she was feeling with their situation and not knowing she can't do anything about it, right? She just has to let them be. And the awareness that she has that my niece, who lives with them, one of my nieces, she is desiring for something more. Like, she's wanting a space for herself, because they're all, it's a condo. It's not a big home, it's a condo. So, you know, you have two families living in this 2-bedroom home. And then, you know, add the hoarding stuff, right? There's less space. And how she heard my niece kind of make a comment about how she wanted just a little space for herself. And there was a nook, and she's like, can I just have like a table here, and I'll be in charge. It was right next to the stove. And she's just like, I'll be in charge of you know, flipping the tortillas. Like, I don't mind that it's right here, just because it was an available spot. And so my mom was really worried about how, you know, things are just kind of being passed on. And I said, you know, cycles. So I was explaining to her this concept of cycles, right? And how she kind of threw it in my face. And unintentional, right? Because I mentioned to her, I'm like, it doesn't bother me that you're sharing these stories with me. Well, it doesn't bother you because you don't care, you're not around. And I'm like, that's not why it doesn't bother me. And so I said, it doesn't bother me because I understand what's happening, and I see the cycle, the cycles, right? And then I went on to explain to her, you know, life is all about cycles. There's big cycles and there's little cycles, and we, without even realizing it, we're in a cycle until you're aware, right? Until you're aware, then that familiarity of like, oh, I've done this before. Oh, this feels familiar. Oh, not again, right? And so I told her, I said, in that particular family line, it's intergenerational, what we're seeing. And it's most likely going to be that with my niece, she will be the one to break that cycle of the hoarding. And I said, because she's seeing the impact and she's desiring something better. That's how the cycle will be repeated, right? It's from the contrast that you want something better. So I explained that to her. So today, it lingered, this theme, with the few clients that I had, this cycle that's being repeated, right? And where my clients are at. And I enjoy my sessions with all my clients. And so this particular client that I have on this day, he's the one where we playfully, again, I know how to playfully interact with my clients, where my pearls of wisdom come out at the end, right? And so we were messing at the beginning, just in terms of like book writing, and you should write a book, and he's taking notes for himself, like, you know, which I encourage all my clients to do, so they have a reference, something to go back to, right, as they're experiencing life. And the cool thing, that the insight that he got from our sessions was this awareness that these statements that I suggested for him to use were helpful until they weren't. And so I highlighted that awareness that he got, that he realized it doesn't work anymore. So he actually took initiative and changed it. And I was so like secretly proud of him, right? That he recognized that the need for it to shift, because he was now in a different spot a week later. It was only a week difference, but he saw the difference and he took the initiative, and he's like, I had to create a new one. This is what I wrote. And he said to me, I was like, perfect. Like, it's great. So I made him aware. I said, you're going to have to keep doing this over and over and over again, because we are constantly growing, right? So we're never in a state of being. What once worked will get to a point where it doesn't work anymore, and then you're going to have to shift and realign and change the words up, and that's just life. So with him, I mentioned he recognized he was getting hit, he was getting hit, trigger, 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 trigger. And I mentioned to him, I said, for whatever reason, you are being triggered back to back. I know it has something to do with the retrogrades, but I didn't look at his chart beforehand. And that's only because yesterday I was listening to the monthly astrology forecasts from Miss Christina, and I know for me, like, it's gonna hit Gemini and Virgo a lot, because we're a specific type of sign or something like that. She said, oh, because it was like the full moon or new moon in Virgo, but the positioning of something is also going to impact Gemini. Is it 6 months from now? What month are we? No. Maybe. No. I don't know when. Oh, maybe. I don't have a calendar. Where's September? No, that's 8 months. So for whatever reason, it's those two signs, I think, is what Miss Christina said. So I remember thinking about it. So she was saying, Miss Christina was saying, well, that's two separate topics. I was telling my client, let me finish that story first. I was telling my client, you're getting hit back to back. You're getting triggered. Within a week, he got, like, it was like a lot. So I told him, you're getting triggered for a reason. And then I said, most likely you are being nudged, forcefully nudged, to do your healing at a faster rate. Oh, because he was noticing the difference between how he was experiencing life versus those around him. So I said to him, if you're getting hit over and over and over again, it's because you're being forced, nudgingly forced, gently forced, to do your healing at a faster rate for a specific purpose. And we've talked about his North Node placement, and he's meant to do something big in terms of for humanity. His whatever he's creating, it's going to be for humanity, moving humanity along. So it was a great session. I wanted to highlight that, because in the sessions today, it's this awareness that it's not going to stop. It's not, the pain isn't going to stop. You're just going to learn how to adapt to it. You're going to learn how to understand it. You're going to learn how to listen to your body's response when you're getting triggered, so that you can quickly shift in between cycles or in the next cycle, so that when it repeats again, right, you're going to feel more empowered. And the second client, I explained to her, I said, anxiety is all about the future, the unknown, right? It's about the fear that the past will repeat, and control, right? Lack of control. And so I said, but if you anticipate, if you already have this universal law of acceptance that the world revolves around cycles, then you know the unknown. The unknown is that it will repeat. That's where a lot of people like, no, don't repeat. And it's just like, it's going to repeat. Like, just accept that it's going to repeat. How you respond is what you have control over. So can you pick it up, what cycle you're in, shift accordingly, so that the next cycle feels better, doesn't hurt as much, right? So she's like, oh my gosh, that's so on point. And she's taking notes down. So it's this element of like not feeling like something's wrong with you, but just understanding that you're in a process in that time of your life. And for each of us, it's going to look different. For each of us, it's going to look different. And can we pick it up though when it does happen to you, and be okay with the fact that for you, that just happens to be the lesson that you're learning over and over and over again, because you're needing to master that versus your peer. So it's not that anything is wrong with you. It's just that this is what your path looks like. For them, it's going to look a little bit different. Their lessons are going to be a little bit different, and sometimes your paths are going to cross, right? And that's meant to you're meant to trigger each other, right? For further expansion. So I thought that was neat. The continued theme of the cycles repeating, some getting hit, and my other client was being more open to self-care, and so she was learning how to go with the flow a little bit more, because for her it was all about control, and giving herself permission to feel comfortable with self-care, because it was foreign to her. She was always the one caring for others, and so for her to actually be okay and feel okay with redirecting that attention to her was huge. But she's noticing the difference. And we were talking about how it just feels to do these small shifts, small changes in her routine. She's like, I feel better, I feel more balanced. I said, okay, that's the key, right? So anyways, I just wanted to share that before I forgot the pattern. I need to go back because I want bacon. And it's late. Not that late, but I need meat. I need protein. I didn't have protein today. I had udon soup today for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It didn't have a lot of protein in it, so I need my protein. So I need to go finish washing my pan. That's all. Hey you, my name is Yubi and I use she, they pronouns, and you've just finished watching a clip from my video diary entries where I'm documenting my healing journey as I learn how to navigate my spiritual awakening. I have learned that this experience and process is unique to each and every one of us in whatever way we are embracing living our truth. This just happens to be my journey. And despite me having a graduate degree and a license in clinical social work, this by no means is intended to replace any type of formal mental health advice. This is just me on a personal level, shedding light on the truth that I am learning and discovering for myself as these experiences unfold, and really inviting you along for the ride. Please know that there is a time gap between when these videos post and my real timeline, and also that these clips build upon each other similar to chapters in a book. So if you find yourself lost or confused, feel free to click on the playlist section or the link below, where you can jump around, check out the other chapters, and or catch up. Also, please know that you're more than welcome to check out my website, www.youbecominghealed.com, where I've gathered all of this information, my background, experience, and education to create online self-paced courses to help you on your healing journey wherever you are. You're also more than welcome to check out my other YouTube channel at You Becoming Healed, where I've entertained a podcast, including clips from these courses so that I can make this content accessible to more and more people. Please click like, subscribe, and share this content so again it reaches more people, with the hopes that other people will resonate and connect with the healing journey and the stories shared so that they don't feel alone in their own process. I thank you in advance. I'm grateful to you, and I wish you well.